It's a joy to be with you today, and we're on this Friday looking at Ephesians chapter 3. This is a great chapter to know the heart of what to pray for when it comes to people that you're discipling or just for our own selves. The Apostle Paul here has a great prayer for the folks there at Ephesus to comprehend the love of God and to know the power of God to enable them to have that love and to experience that love. And of course, that wonderful verse that he's able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. But just prior to that, it's very interesting. In context here, we have in verse 13 this verse. Wherefore, I desire that ye faint not in my tribulations for you, which is your glory. The Apostle Paul has been giving them the great truth of the church in these 3 chapters and speaking of how God had worked through him and the battle to see the church go forward. And then he says, I don't want you to faint at my tribulations for you. And so as he was explaining about how the church would function and the steps that all of us should take in accomplishing his will as the body of Christ, the fact is, just like what he faced, we're going to have opposition from Satan. But the gates of hell cannot prevail against the church. And we need to understand that. But there will be a battle. And I really believe that the reason you see so many churches crumble, so many churches stay at one size, is that they do not fully understand the spiritual battle that they are in. That Satan is trying to get in, cause division. He's trying to give wrong thinking and untruth that people will grasp onto. And he's doing everything he can to cause the church to be unsettled, bring in opposition from the outside. And he's saying, I don't want you to faint at the tribulations that I know are coming. You've got to understand that. And he's going to have this prayer request in just a moment. But I want to zero in on the final 4 words, which is your glory. Now, isn't that a contradiction from a human perspective? Tribulations, glory. But you know, it really is true. When we truly serve the Lord and we're endeavoring to accomplish his will and we face the onslaught of Satan, that's one of the greatest opportunities we have to show God's power and to see him overcome and to show forth his glory. And that is a genuine glory in our own hearts. I look back at some of the great spiritual battles that I have known in the ministry. And as we've come through those and we have seen God intervene, it's certainly a glory to the Lord, but it's a deep, deep joy in my own heart and all of our hearts that God moved, God protected. He showed himself strong. He turned bad and made it good. He turned something ugly into something beautiful. And there just is glory in that kind of situation. And so for all of us, we need to not faint when we do face the inevitable battles. The Lord said, blessed are ye when you face those things. It is a blessing. Happy are ye when you fall into diverse temptations. And so we need to believe that God knows what he's doing. We need to be encouraged that God will take the trials, he will mold us, and it will eventually come to a place where he's glorified. And frankly, there'll be glory in our soul. And when you got glory in your soul, my friend, you can face anything. And so stay encouraged. No matter what's happening, believe that God's doing the best thing for you.